Hi, my name is Frank Huang, and I'm here today to show you how to mark up and annotate your scores for the Henle app, which is available on Apple and Android devices. Without further delay, let's get right to it. There are two ways to access annotation mode. The first method is to place your finger anywhere on the score and hold down until you see a screen that looks like this. Alternatively, you can tap the pencil icon in the upper right corner to get you there as well. Once you are in annotation mode, you have several different options of how to mark up your score. I will go over more of these specific functions later in the video, but for now, I will give you a quick overview. Here in the upper left corner, if you tap this icon, you will have the option to add additional annotation layers. In the center, there are various marking tools and colors for you to customize how your annotations will look on the score. Lastly, if you prefer, you can use the Henle provided fonts on the bottom here. And as you can see, there's an extensive selection of symbols for you to use. In this section of the video, I'm going to show you how to add annotation layers to your score. In my opinion, this is probably the most important feature for teachers and students. Now go ahead and access annotation mode. And once you are in, tap this icon in the upper left corner. Here you will see that you can view the score in its original format without any markings. And in my case, when I tap the annotation layer that is labeled as 1, you can see all of my personal markings. If you'd like to add additional layers, simply tap here and label it whatever you want to call it. Now, the reason why I think this specific feature is useful to teachers and students is that it is a great tool to track your progress on a certain work from week to week. So, for example, let's say you bring in a Beethoven sonata to a lesson, and then you mark all the comments on the score. Then the following week, when you bring the same piece, you can start a different annotation layer if you want. So, in my score, you can see that I even color-coded the different versions as I switch back and forth between the different versions. As a teacher, I love this option because it reminds me of what I discussed with students in previous weeks and gives me a better idea of what areas need further improvement. In any case, after you're done inputting your comments, you can easily share your scores with colleagues by clicking on this button. Here you will see the various ways you can send your files. There are many ways to mark up your score. I think the first question that comes to mind is, should I use my finger or an iPencil? And I would say that it depends on the situation. So for example, if I'm looking to make a simple and quick stroke like a circle or a slur, then I would definitely use my finger. However, if I want to handwrite my comments or I want to make more complicated strokes and gestures that require greater precision, then an iPencil will be better in these situations. I'd say just experiment and see what works best for you. Before I get into more of the specific functions of annotation mode, there is one main difference that I want to point out compared to other sheet music apps such as Fourscore. In the Henle app, you can only annotate on one system at a time on a given page. So if you look here, when I'm trying to make a slur that covers more than one system, I need to make two separate gestures. You see here, I'm making another one. It just takes a little practice to get it just right. Lastly, I want to show you how to customize your annotations. If you look to the upper part of my screen in the middle, you will see there are various marker tools of varying widths that you can use. Here they are, from thin to thick. Here's the thinnest, thick, even thicker, and the thickest. You can easily erase these markings by simply tapping this eraser icon and then tapping once on each marking. If you want, you can type comments yourself and even include emojis for some of the younger students. So you can do this by tapping this text icon and tap on the desired location. And in this case, I'm going to write, "Don't rush." And I'm going to include my emoji. And after you're done, let's say you're not totally satisfied of the location, you want to move it in a better spot, you can tap this icon here and then tap the marking and then drag and drop. It's very simple. If you prefer, you can also use the Henle symbols and notations. As I mentioned earlier in the video, on the bottom here, Henle has a bunch of symbols here that you can use. It's very easy and convenient. So in this case, if I want to use their fingering, simply tap and drag and drop. One neat little feature that I want to point out is that also, if you drag and drop on different parts in different staves, you'll see that the font size changes, which is a nice little feature. And lastly, if you need to zoom in to see the markings, simply place 2 fingers on the screen and swipe outward. And to zoom out, again, 2 fingers on the screen and pinch inward. And that's it. Pretty simple. I really like how the app is quite user-friendly. I hope you found this video to be helpful. If you'd like to read my overview and review of the app, please see the link below. Thanks for watching.